long-term deposits, 1.18 short-term deposits, and 1.19 friendly society benefits. Why do we have these various categories and subcategories? The importance of the subcategories and the main category headings is to identify and indicate, firstly, what a FSP is licensed and authorized to sell in terms of products and services. Secondly, when we consider representatives, the categories specify what a rep is fit and proper to advise and offer an intermediary service on. And thirdly, key individuals are authorized for specific product categories. We have looked at examples of subcategories under Category 1. Now let us look at the examples of subcategories under Category 2. Again, you can find a full visual list of these subcategories in the PDF study material. 2.1 is long-term insurance, Category B. 2.2 is long-term insurance, Category C. 2.3 is retail pension benefits. 2.4 is pension fund benefits. 2.5 is securities and instruments, shares. 2.6 is securities and instruments, money market instruments. 2.7 is securities and instruments, debentures and securitized debt. 2.8 is securities and instruments, warrants, certificates, and other instruments acknowledging debt. 2.9 is securities and instruments, bonds. 2.10 is securities and instruments, derivative instruments excluding warrants. 2.11 is participatory interests in one or more collective investment schemes. 2.12 is forex investment business. 2.13 is long-term deposits. And finally, 2.14 is short-term deposits. The FAIS Act makes provision for codes of conduct to be part of the enforceable legislation. How is this relevant? The FAIS Act makes provision for the publication of codes of conduct. A code of conduct then forms part of the subordinate legislation, which simply can be called regulations. In the case of the FSB, it gets published as a board notice. The FAIS Act states that codes of conduct must include a number of minimum requirements, and the purpose of a code of conduct is to give businesses the guidelines and the rules of how to carry out appropriate business practices within the financial services industry, as well as other important rules. Let's take a look at the minimum content of a typical code of conduct. Usually, a code of conduct will consist of provisions relating to disclosure measurements, record keeping, how to avoid fraudulent and misleading advertising, canvassing and marketing, how to ensure proper safekeeping, separation and the proper protection of funds and transaction documentation of clients, and where appropriate, when to make available and how to obtain suitable guarantees, professional indemnity or fidelity insurance for clients. And a code of conduct can also contain the control or prohibition of incentives given or accepted by a provider, commonly known as a conflict of interest, and anything else that the regulator may deem necessary to include